walking alone is a way to ease your mind. But what would you do about the shadows that lurk behind? Don't be afraid of the dark, for this is Tales from Around the Campfire. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to, what is this, episode 4, I believe, right? Of Tales from Around the Campfire. Yes! How are you guys? Hopefully, you guys are having a really great day today. Listen, we're going to be reading some long stories, you know what I mean? Some well, semi long stories, right? I mean, it's always fun to read what like those like paragraph short stories or like two sentences stories. It gets to the point real quick, and we don't get lost in the sauce. But yes, we are going to be doing that exactly. So, for without any further ado, we're going to get straight into it, all right? Because I feel confident, I feel good about myself today. Let's go, all right? We're going to go into the website called huffpost.com with the article named 12 Terrifying Ghost Stories You Shouldn't Read Alone. Fortunately for you guys are not going to read it. I'm going to be reading them alone. And, so here we go. Let me see. It was updated on November 8th, 2017 at around 4:37 p.m. Right? Yeah, I believe so. I mean, that's what it says here. I don't see the person who wrote this article, but all all credit goes to that person. So, first story. It's called, if I could find it. The first story is called The Cell Phone. A couple months ago, my friend's cousin, a single mother, bought a new cell phone. After a long day of work, she came home, placed her phone on the counter, and went to watch TV. Her son came to her and asked her if she could play with her phone. She told him not to call anyone or mess around with the text, and he agreed. At around 12:20, she was drowsy, so she decided to tuck her son in and go to bed. She walked to his room and saw that he wasn't there, so then ran over to her room to find him sleeping on her bed, with her phone on hand. Relieved, she picked her phone up from his hand and inspected it. Browsing through it, she noticed only minor changes such as a new background banner, etc. But then she opened up her saved pictures. She began deleting the pictures he had taken until only one new picture remained. When she first saw it, she was in disbelief. It was her son, sleeping in her bed. But the picture was taken by someone else above him, and it showed the left half of an elderly woman's face. We're going to keep the comments to a minimum as well. But what I do want to share with you guys that, back then I used to watch a lot of, ghost episodes, like ghost hunters and stuff like that. And they would always say that, technology such as a camera or something like recording them, will give energy to the spirits. In other words, maybe this is that same case. The kid accidentally, gave a little bit of power to that one entity. It's enough power to give herself a selfie. Hey. Okay. This next one's called Ghost Bro. We always need a ghost bro. Here we go. My house was built in 1904. It is a single family home, wood frame, setting on a concrete block foundation. I have been living there for about 12 years or so. Of all the weird things that my siblings and me have seen or heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother about 10 years ago. My brother and his best friends had started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock, alternative music, but in Spanish. His friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons. They would practice until the early evening, and they would usually call it quits about 8 p.m. This was the time I usually showed up and went to bed, because I worked the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session with the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy so he could load up the equipment. Everyone had filled out of the basement, but the tricky part was that they needed to walk all the way to the back of the basement, up to the stairs, through the kitchen door, down the hall, into the living room, and out the front porch. Everyone was outside sitting in my brother's truck waiting for him. My brother was walking up back the stairs when he remembered that he had left his pancakes in a to-go counter setting sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made a decision to go back. Now the basement was not clean, with full sight lines where there had been partitions made, and the boilers and the main heating unit are right smack in the middle. So after my brother's walk back, he is about to retrieve his food counter when out of the corner of his eye, he sees it. It's a shadowy figure right in the peripheral vision, right in his peripheral vision. This feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. He had been taught that if you are in the presence of a spirit or a ghost and you felt a bad vibe, you say a quick prayer or to cuss it out. My brother chose the latter. He basically just told it to screw off. Screw you. I don't have time for this garbage. I'm not saying the bad words. I'm trying to keep it PG. I'm saying. My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing the door and turning off the lights. As he was walking out, the last light switch is on the opposite side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open and the lights from the street lamp was flooding the living room with its amber light. My brother said that he felt something in his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he flicked the last switch to the living room went dark, as did the rest of the house. As he stepped out, he pulled the door, closing it behind him, still holding his food container in his hand, and jogged down the few porch steps. He walked towards the front gate, and the house resides far from the main street, essentially having a large front yard, but no rear garage. As he closed the gap between himself and his friend's laden truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbing into the driver's seat of the truck, putting on his seat belt and getting ready to pull out of the parking lot spot directly in front of the house when one of his friends asked, "Hey, wait, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" My brother answered, "What do you mean?" "He went to work early tonight. He is already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked was, "So then, who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?" Ghost bros. Oh, like you can have a ghost for a bro. Just keep your distance, I guess. I don't know. I mean, oof. Just imagine that. I mean, oh my god. Oh, Lee, that is. That's something to worry about. I don't know if I failed to mention it last year, but every time I feel something or someone behind me that I can't see, or I refuse to turn around, my ears stand up. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't have pointy ears, but I could feel my ears just stand up. Like some people say, "Oh, the hair behind my head, the back of my head, stands up." I don't do that. My hair stays flat. I do have curly hair, but it stays flat. I'm telling y'all. But my ears just spike up whenever I feel or see something that I shouldn't. In other words, this next one's called The Rockin' Horse. Okay. One night, when I was maybe about 10 or 12, I had a feeling. I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was on the entire top floor of the house, with my bed and such being in the left side, and the storage closet and a play area being on the right. I was laying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room, and I see a rocking horse begin to rock. It wasn't sitting just out. It was sitting just outside one of the storage closets, It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and it stopped dead under the ceiling light. At this point, I was freaking out and just buried my head under the blankets and never peeked out again until morning. It was all confirmed to not be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being up out of bed and playing with my toys well past my bedtime. Their bedroom was directly below mine and directly below the storage closet play area corner, and he had heard the cracking of the rocking horse shuffling across the room. You know, I love toys, right? Who doesn't love toys? I mean, you get to play with them. Um, you know, you your imagination runs wild when you're a kid, right? When you're a kid, you're playing with your toys. You're talking to yourself. You're talking like for your toys, and you're just creating a whole scene right in front of you. But as soon as the toys talk back, I mean, I think that is a really good chance that your imagination is working overtime, and it is not cool, bro. Not cool, bro. This next one's called Annie 96 is typing. Alright, I'm guessing this is like some Facebook app or whatever. Annie 96 is typing. Pretty much takes me to another link, right? Like I said, all the links that I do read from these stories, I will definitely leave down in the description down below. So here it is. There's a conversation between Annie 96 and Mac Davey, and it's like around 1:31 p.m. or a.m. I don't know, but a.m. right? Because Annie tells the other guy, "You asleep?" The guy replies, "No." "Guess you're not either." Annie says, "Can't. It's the wind. Sounds like cats fighting." "What's your excuse?" "Studying." So so that's what they call porn now? Annie, the hell, man? Not denying it. Mike Davies typing. "I still can't believe what Johnny did yesterday." "Me either. That boy has issues." "The hell, the wind's so loud. That doesn't sound normal. Lol." "No, the wind over here, it's just rain." "Lucky you. I need my beauty sleep." "Damn right you do." "What? You mean I look..." "Damn, I think I heard footsteps on the gravel outside." "Get your crazy dad to check it out." "I'm home alone. The fam are on holiday, vacation, remember? I told you this." "Really? Till when? We should hang out." "They really sound like footsteps, but there's something odd about them. I should look out the window, but my bed is so warm." "Sure you want to look out the window when you're alone? What if there is really someone out there in the garden looking at you?" "Not funny, David." "Whoa, chill. I'm sure it's nothing. Gonna check out. Be right back. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call?" Annie 96 is typing. "David, there's someone in the garden." "What, really?" "Yes, and I can see a man's back." "What is he doing?" Annie 96 is typing. "He's looking for something on his hand and knees in the bush." Mike Davies typing. "He must be high and probably looking for his drugs or something." "David, this is serious. What should I do?" "Nothing. He'll probably go away by himself." OMG, now he's digging with his bare hands. He's ruining the garden. Ah, crap, he's turning around. What does it look like? Annie 96 is typing. "David, what the hell? This isn't funny." "What? How are you doing that?" "What are you talking about?" Annie 96 is typing. "I can see that it's you in my garden. How are you riding here without touching your phone, looking up in my window? Can't you hear me banging on it?" "Crap, Annie." Whoa. The website just went crazy. "Crap, Annie, now you're scaring me too. I'm definitely not in your garden. That's not me. Stop playing around. I can see your face and you're wearing that stupid football jacket you're so proud of." Mike Davies typing. "It must be someone who it looks like me. Honestly, Annie, I'm at home. I wouldn't play around like that." "It has to be a friend of yours, David, playing a sick prank. Who else would be wearing your jacket?" "There are loads of jackets like that. My friends don't look anything like me. You just have You just have me on your mind. He's digging again. So just leave already. Annie, did you have a gunny? Do you have a gun in your home? Annie 96 is typing. Don't be dumb, David. I couldn't shoot anyone. You don't have to use it. You just show that you're carrying. Annie 96 is typing. Doesn't the jacket have your name in the back? Mike Davies typing. Yeah, the team all got one with their names on it. I can see your dang name. What? What the hell is this, David? Mike Davies typing. Annie, that jacket is in my closet. Oh crap, he sees me. Why is he smiling like that? He's coming. Call the cops. Whoa, the website's going crazy again. Annie, pick up. Mike Davies typing. I've called the cops, told them that there's a break-in attempt in your place. They say that they're on their way, but it'll take about half an hour. Annie, are you there? Annie 96 is typing. It's in the house. Can't talk. I have to be quiet. Lights off. I'm in the closet with a knife. Hard to type. Shaking too much. Oh crap. Oh crap. Hang in there, Annie. The police will be there in 20 minutes. Do you know where he is? It, not he. The look it had when it saw me, David. No person could look like that. Jesus Christ. Does it know you're there where you are? No, I grabbed the knife when I saw it running towards the house, and I got to the closet when I heard it breaking in. Okay, good. You'll be fine. I clicked by accident. A druggie doesn't have the brains to find someone hiding in the closet. The police will be there soon. Oh God, it's calling out to me. It sounds like you, David. Its voice is so deep, though. Filling the house, filling my head. What is this? What's it saying? Come out, Annie. I just want to look at you. It keeps repeating that over and over again. Annie 96 is typing. Have I gone mad, David? Is this what it feels like? Just 10 more minutes, Annie. Keep it together. You are so strong. You'll get through this. It's coming up the stairs, but so slowly, irregular steps. Why does it look like you, David? Why? I don't know, Annie. Please believe me. Can you make it stop? Please make it stop. I would if I could, I promise. It's at the end of the hall. David, I didn't say anything to my parents when they left. I was listening to music. This is the last time I see them? Will this be the last time I see them? Annie 96 is typing. This is something to do with you, David. Only you can make it stop. Think fast. I don't know, Annie. God, please. Please? Mike Davies typing. It might be because I think about you so much. I think about you all the time. Annie 96 is typing. So stop. I don't know how. It's scraping something through the walls, getting closer. Please, David. I'm trying so hard. Annie 96 is typing. It's slowing down. Try harder. Annie 96 is typing. Whatever you're doing, it's working. It stopped. I can't hear anything. Really? Don't go out yet. Stay put until the police get there. What should I tell them if he's gone? Everything, Annie. Everything you told me. I don't know. I didn't know you felt that way about me, David. With a smiley face. I'm so glad it stopped. Can you come over in the morning, David? I really need to see you. Of course, Annie. I'll be there. Great. Can't wait. Mike Davies typing. Annie? Annie, how do I know this is you? Oh. Annie 96 went online. Wow. Okay, that was good. That was really good, actually. Holy. I mean, they're having a... Okay, so pretty much this website was a whole conversation through a text, right? And towards the end, where he says, Annie, how do I know this is really you? You know what I mean? Ooh. Probably this David-looking dude got to Annie and pretty much killed her, probably. And, you know, it took her phone and, you know, messaged him saying, great, exclamation point, can't wait, you know? I don't know. This was pretty good. But yeah, this website, storiesforyourscreen.com. In the website, HuffPost, it's gonna be uh, a little tab where it says Annie 96 is typing, and it's gonna have a little link on it. You click on the link, and it'll take you straight to the straight to that, straight to what I was just reading right now. It's a pretty good story. I really like it. You know, I mean, it turns out that David actually had a thing for Annie, and towards the end, just you know, or you know, maybe Annie was messing around with him. You know, I mean, she did mess around with him right off the bat. You know, telling him that he was watching the lewd stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, Annie, what are you playing at? You're just playing yourself. But that was a pretty good one. I'll maybe read one or two more before this episode ends. But you know, let me take this time by telling you guys, thank you guys for coming. You know, I really do appreciate you sitting here. You know, I am more confident in my reading, and I hope you guys can see that too. You know, I mean, like the first couple episodes, you know, I gotta get the gears running. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a car. I'm like an old car. You know, you gotta turn me on, let me run for a little bit so I can give you the best performance. You know what I mean? Just let me get comfortable. Let me get into the groove of, you know, reading to you guys so you guys can have a pleasant uh, hearing. You know what I mean? So, you know, I really do appreciate you coming to the to the campfire. You know, with me tonight. It's it's a great night to be in front of the campfire and telling stories. But yeah, so let me tell you about how not to use a phone while you're driving, huh? You guys saw that coming. Listen, don't do it. Right? I am sick and tired of people playing with the phones while they're driving. All right, you have a phone that can. You have a phone call that can wait. You have a text that can wait. If you have a co-pilot right next to you, give your phone to them and be like, hey, you know, I got a message. What they say? Or hey, someone's calling me. Pick up the phone for me. Don't pick up the phone yourself. Pay attention to the road. Just right now, you know, I was walking down the street, right? I was walking down the street and I saw this red Corvette, and it was a pretty cool. It's a pretty nice Corvette too, and the dude that was riding the Corvette all of a sudden was just texting away, bleep, 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 and I was like, ah, you nerd, come on, put that away, man. Listen, if you're gonna listen to my stories, or if you're gonna listen to YouTube or any stories, you know, like search it up, you know, search up Mystery Gaming Inc. Click on the episode that you want to listen to. Set me aside, put me on speaker, you know, hook me up to your to the car speaker, and you know, leave your phone alone. That's it. You know, I mean, these episodes run for like 30 to 40 minutes sometimes, and so you have plenty of listening time. And you know, I just want you guys to be safe. I don't want to hear, or I don't want to read any of, you know, the stories on how tragically you passed on because you were so busy texting Lori or Karen that, you know, you miss her so much. So please, they'll understand if you wait. Just like if you don't message her back, I think, I don't know. This next one's called The Following. My older sister has a ghost that followed her for years. I lived with her once for about 3 months, and so much weird stuff happened at the time. All my sister would say to me when I mentioned it, it was her ghost didn't like me being there. Things like going to bed with everything locked up and switched off, and waking up in the morning with the back of the door open, lights on, and the kettle switched on. Well, one night, my sister and I were getting ready to go out, and I asked her to borrow her liquid foundation. I used it and put it back where she kept all her makeup. 10 minutes later, she was asking me for it, and she was asking for it back. All right, and it was nowhere to be seen. So she accused me of taking it, and it made me buy her a new one. All right, that kind of messed up. And refused to listen to my side of the story as well. About a year or so later, when she was packing to move to the new house, she found the makeup in a shoebox with some old letters. The shoebox was in a zipped up suitcase that was underneath her bed. But probably the most scared I ever felt was one afternoon when I was the only one in the house, which never happened as four other people lived there. I'd arrived home from work and headed straight to the bathroom. All the doors, windows, etc. were closed. I was standing in the bathroom and started squeezing a pimple off my chin when a female voice in the hall said, "Stop picking your zits." It was loud enough and sounded real enough at the time. I thought it was my sister, so I laughed and I told her to just screw off and asked what she was doing for dinner. No one answered. I stuck my head out to the hall and no one was there. I searched the house top to bottom and there was no one home. I sat out in the front porch until someone else got home because I didn't want to be there alone. Ooh. Ghost telling you not to pop your pimples. Hey, listen, I find that probably, the ghost is looking out for you. You know what I'm saying? Like probably the ghost or whatever was following the sister, uh, got, how do I put it? Starting liking her, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, she's cool, So she's looking out. The ghost looking out for her. Hey, you gotta stop popping your zits because you're gonna start looking like You're gonna start having pepperoni face. You want that? Maybe that's what the ghost was trying to tell her. You want pepperoni face? Keep popping your pimples. I'm just saying. This one's called The Grandfather. My grandfather told me this story about how one time he was sitting in a chair in front of the house when he heard his wife repeatedly calling him from the inside. The thing is, my grandmother passed away a few years ago, a few years before that, but he told me that the voice was so oppressing that he actually got up to look inside the house. And as soon as he got inside, he heard a loud crash behind him and turned around to see that the chair he was sitting on moments ago has been crushed by a cast iron gutter that fell on it. If he hadn't have come inside the house, he would have probably been seriously injured. I don't know if it's paranormal or not, but every time I think about it, sends chills down my spine. I mentioned this like 2 episodes ago. If you really, really, really do love someone with all your heart, I don't think even death will do you part. You always have that special someone looking over you, right? Whether it be your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, great grandpa, great grandma, a husband that you've been with for so many years, or a wife that you've been with so many years, you know, they'll never leave. One thing that the movie what was the movie I saw? I It's the Day of the Dead movie. I don't know what it is, but it's like an animated film. One thing that movie has taught me, that no one really dies. If you if you still remember them, no one really dies. Like they'll still live on forever, right? That's why Latinos, Mexicanos, Mexicans, we have the tradition of like every November 1st and 2nd having the Day of the Dead, El Dia de los Muertos, to remember our fallen, loved ones. One day of being with them is always nice. Remember them, and they'll never die. They'll never leave. All right, so we're gonna be reading probably like two more stories, right? Because this website has a bunch of stories, right? And I do want to read more of the tech stories, the one that I read about Annie 96, but I think that we'll save that for another episode. You know what I mean? So we are going to be doing that. So this second to last story that we're going to be reading is called The Shadow. I didn't know that's what it was called until much later. I was living in a house in Laguna Beach that had been there since the 1920s. In its history, it had been a speakeasy, a brothel, a house for smuggling illegal immigrants. One day, my new wife, and I were having an argument. I can't even recall what was it about. She walked down the block to get a cup of coffee and cool off, and I was alone in the house. The way the place was built was incredibly uh, half haphazard. There was a bedroom and a living room on one side, and and then a bathroom and two entries in the other side of the bath. Okay, okay. On the other side of the bathroom was a hallway that had windows in one side and two bathrooms on the other. From my bedroom, I could look across the hall into the bathroom, then through the bathroom and down the other hall. Okay. I was standing at my dresser and I just noticed movement on one corner of my eye, and I looked down there. There was an honest to God that gives me goosebumps just typing it. 17 years later, a black figure. It was maybe 3 feet tall and it was only vaguely humanoid. It looked like black scribbles, like someone had scribbled a human shape, but the scribbles moved, like electricity arcing. That's the best way I can describe it. There was no sound that I could remember. I distinctly remember when I saw it, I wasn't afraid. I was just like, the hell? Then it noticed me looking at it. I can't say it turned around, it just focused on me, I guess. Then I was scared. I didn't move, didn't scream, nothing. I was just frozen. Because it was coming at me, it rushed down the hall towards me. I have no idea what it intended to do, but as soon as it entered the bathroom, the door closed. The door closes to me, just slammed shut. I screamed. I yelled for my wife. She wasn't home. I went back outside into the daylight and didn't go back in until she got home about 10 minutes later. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe I saw something supernatural, but I know I saw something. I don't know what it was. Alright, uh, that last bit was kind of confusing me a lot. I had to like reread a couple times, um, but we got it. That was interesting. Seeing black figures, it's usually like the most common thing aside from orbs, I guess. I mean, oof, I'll be scary. The last one we're gonna read, it's just like a two sentence. I guess it is. It's two sentence long, right? It's called The Photograph. My friend took this picture of his cousin in their new house. He says it was just the two of them, but that's not what it looks like. Alright. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me reread it. Let me reread that again before we end it. My friend took this picture of his cousin in their new house. He says it was just the two of them, but that's not what it looks like. Okay. I mean, yeah, sure. You have an extra person in the photo, or somebody else is taking the photo for you. That was confusing, and I do apologize. But with that being said, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Please, if you have any stories that you want to share or that you want me to read or look over, send them over to me on Twitter, and I will definitely take a look and read them for you next time. If it's not personal, of course, or leave them down in the comment section below, so I can, of course, read them again. And I'll give credit where credit is due, of course. But yeah, episode 4 done. What, like 11 more episodes left? I am going to be taking a break from Nintendo Week and Nintendo Weekend. Well, actually, just Nintendo Week. Nintendo Weekend. Nintendo Week will come. Probably I will do Nintendo Weekend as soon as I'm done with this. Maybe, or maybe I'll just play a horror game or like a scary game or something. I don't know, but we'll just see when the time comes, right? So, when dust settles in and the moon begins to quell the sun, remember to always look behind you. Until the next one. Peace out, everybody.